Before Leland Live Talk 99.5, Michelson Laser Vision bringing you the show tonight. Dr. Mark, Dr. Jennifer, father-daughter team up there. And for years, if you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, you know how much I like to brag about getting LASIK. And it really was transformative for me and in my life to get rid of those glasses. And I say it all the time, but I didn't realize how much those glasses were an intrusion on my life until I got rid of them. I'd sort of gotten so used to keeping up with them and keeping up with all the contact stuff and going back for more supplies all the time. I hadn't bought anything with my eye vision other than some cheap readers for the last almost 7 years since I got LASIK at Michelson. And I'm telling you, let's just talk about them for a minute. The procedure is amazing, but you want it done at a quality place with a reputation like they have at Michelson. They originated the laser here in the late 80s. And so they've got decades of experience at doing these procedures. And with a father-daughter team, 2 generations, heavily invested in the family business, they're just going to take care. This is not one of those pop-up discount, fly-by-night surgical operations. You need to be able to have them there in the long run for follow-up care and additional eye issues. And that's what they've been able to do for me this entire time, too. I once got a splinter in my eye. I know that makes some of y'all shudder. You remember that, AJ? I was working on a woodworking project, and a piece of, it was kind of sawdust more than anything, but a piece of wood hit me in the eye, and I couldn't get it out. And I didn't know I could have called them in the off hours. They let me know, call us in the off hours. But I got some poor treatment at one of those docking and box places because I was in sheer pain. But they were able to give me something to numb my eye, but they gave me the wrong stuff to treat it. So I went to Michelson as a follow-up, and boy, they instantly knew what to do. They had more detailed diagnostic equipment. Dr. Jennifer took good care of me, and I was out of pain instantly. My eye healed nicely, no major damage. That could have been bad. It's good to have this kind of expertise right here in Birmingham. Again, a pioneer in the country, much less here in Alabama. MichelsonLaserVision.com, MichelsonLaserVision.com. All right, so a couple of things, just a little bit off the beaten path. The stock market has just hit another record. It's approaching 50,000 on the Dow. It's at 48,977. I think at one point today it had gotten to 49. I may be a little bit off on that. I didn't get a chance to watch it all day, but a huge jump, almost 600 points a day, about 1.23 on the Dow, a half point on the NASDAQ. The market's liking the optimism going in. I think that gives you a picture that they were pretty decent retail sales that went on during the holidays. I know I spent everything I could. Did you break the bank this Christmas? Because some Christmases people hold back a little bit. This year it was crowded everywhere I went.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I didn't have to go stand on the corner or anything like that to make a little extra money. So I did pretty well.
Well, we are in radio, so let me know if you need any help with that. I can play guitar while you do whatever you do. We always have to have a backup option of panhandling when you're in this business because you never know what's going to happen next.
Yes.
But anyway, so I'm guessing at that. I haven't seen a lot of market analysis today, but the fundamentals are there. The tax structure this year is going to be beneficial to a lot of companies. The investments that were all announced in that first year under Trump will start to come to fruition this year. If you're looking long-term, there are fundamentals internationally. Here's the point. After a major military operation that could have upended the energy markets and been disruptive, you'd think investors on any kind of negative news or uncertainty would immediately just pull back. But now they've got experience with Trump being around, and this is not the first bold mission that we've taken to handle issues and get them done once and for all. And that winds up being a very good thing, a stable environment where the investors know what the rules are and what the market's always like. Also, I think in this run-up today, I guess let me rephrase. So you had an impactful story that could have been hugely negative on the markets as we start a new year, and it didn't have any effect. And then you've got, again, I mentioned the tax structure. You've got other things that are going to come about as the year gets going that in the long term seem to be things investors would like, including replacing the Fed chair this year and maybe finally some reasonable interest rates, which will free up a lot of capital to start moving around in our economy, which would be helpful in the home sector and everything else. All of this stuff, just like the way we plunged with Biden's reckless spending and the runaway inflation, and which caused the increase in the interest rates. We're reversing that. Common sense would dictate things get better. Things were roaring in 2019. COVID notwithstanding, a lot of dumb things happened after COVID to keep things bad. And now those are being put back right. And that would be get to a reasonable interest rate. Will we see threes or fours again? I doubt it. You kind of hope we don't too soon. That would mean the economy's tanking and they got to drop the rates very, very quickly to maintain some equilibrium. But what we could see are rates in the fives. There's a psychological comfort factor there. Gas prices slowly starting to come down. They didn't budge much on the news of Venezuela, but again, those are futures markets, and so everything's kind of budgeted out in the future. You can look at that story two ways. Venezuela was already so embargoed, they weren't putting a ton of energy out legally into the markets anyway. If the American companies can get into a stable environment there and get that crude produced and into the world, that is just alone, let's just talk about the oil. That is a national security issue for the United States. We had become so non-reliant on our own resources, and then Venezuela had walled off its production. That gives power to Russia and Iran. They are oil-producing nations, and it's almost their single economy. The Iranians are eating crickets if they lose oil and the price collapses. It's the same threat against Putin. If you want to bring Putin down, you drop natural gas and oil down, he's done. He's running on fumes already. They're a one-dimensional economy. They have no national output. They don't produce any world marquee products. They don't have any kind of tangible production in any of the sectors. Steel, it's just energy for them. They've been blackmailing Europe with it. Some of those alliances are falling apart on them. But you get this American production was setting records at the end of the year. I don't know where it is now. You get this Venezuelan oil online quickly, and that could happen very quickly. Some of that equipment's still in place. The energy companies know everything about that country. As soon as they can get in there and get things reformatted, you got more of oil getting into the market. And remember, what we pay for gas, little quick economics lesson here halfway through the show. What we pay for gas, the thing that affects us on a daily basis that we have to buy so much of, and that we all see when we drive past the gas stations. They have put a gigantic billboard on 280 that you can't miss. Have you seen this big old thing? I think it's a racetrack or something like that. This thing must be 30 feet tall, and it's lit up real time. And it's just in your face, the price of gas. And I notice it. I notice it when I come and go up and down 280. And a lot of those billboards are generally out on the interstates. But the point is, it has a cumulative effect on how you feel about your own security with your money, right? So in my experience, it's been a few things. It's interest rates, it's gas prices. Sometimes it's the raw grocery bill. It's the constant things. And for some, it's your 401k. You go take a peek at it and go, okay, I feel better now. It's up. It was up today because of the markets, most likely, depending on how you're invested. And so as we head into these things, consumer optimism could change everything. So you come off, if it's a decent retail sales number from the holiday spending, which in some retail sectors, either online or in person, that can be as much as a third of their business for the entire year, if not more. Some companies, at 60% of their bottom line is during the Christmas holiday season. So if all those things start pulling in the same direction, we're going to have an outburst of freedom and then optimism. And then with optimism comes all this strength in our own economy. And again, a lot of it goes back to energy. You went from an administration that was hostile toward what works and tried to regulate it out of business and substitute a failed model with all these EVs and cars and mouse fart wind production and fairy dust or whatever they wanted to produce energy with. And that just doesn't work. The whole world is an oil-based economy. So if we are independently wealthy on our own, with our own energy resources being met, we're not as vulnerable to the rest of the world, wars breaking out, natural disasters, and other things. So just on a national security level, on the oil alone, and these people and what they did with our own investment in that country, you got a lot of predicate and reasoning, a lot of good that can come out of it. You got freedom for their people. You got energy for the world. I mean, those are things that we've always stood on: free markets, capitalism, low cost energy, and it's peace and prosperity. So my prayers are up for the Venezuelan people. It's been an amazing thing to watch, and to watch the reaction to it, and exposing the hypocrisy of these idiots on the left, and all that all that they seem to be about today. All right, so you had the stock market story, and we had another story. I meant to get to this earlier. I'll just throw it in here real quick. There was some transgender nut job. Yep, they're still with us. They're still out there. You know, mental illness can sometimes manifest itself in violence. It starts with some nice pink chiffon and some poorly applied makeup. Next thing you know, there's death or violence. One of these folks apparently went after, believe it or not, J.D. Vance's home. He was not at home. He and his family were not there, and broke a bunch of windows. And they immediately caught the person. I forget their fake name, but that story was, I had it right in front of me. Now it's gone. That's now become a side note. These people, remember when they were firebombing Teslas and randomly attacking people in the streets and cornering Jewish students on college campuses? We replaced the real police with the thought police for about 4 or 5 years in this country, where they would violently confront people because of what they thought and believed, until it culminated with Charlie Kirk being assassinated last year. And you just get a sense that some of those folks have been marginalized and quiet. And I got a word for you. They're losing so badly on the world stage on every single element, on Trump's popularity, on the effectiveness of his international policy, with the economy improving, as these people emotionally withdraw, because they're an emotional people, the left. Their whole worldview is not based on logic. It's based on their feelings and their rage and their envy against other people. They're going to get worse. They're going to get more manic because they feel completely defeated, because they have been for a time. It won't last forever. We're living in some good times. I lived through Reagan, and then I had to live through a lot of stuff after that. So bad times will be back. So my advice to you, get out there as part of your New Year's resolutions. I know folks are working on your finances and working on your fat butt and all the things that we're doing to get right. I know I am. But here's some advice for you for your New Year's resolution. Live your life. Be bold in living your life. Love on the people around you. Put the phone down and go do stuff, because these days won't last forever. We're entering into times when we're able to do that. It's still expensive, but we're trying to catch up to those prices. And eventually you'll be able to, even if you have to economize to do it, there are ways to go in and do it. I'm not saying be irresponsible and YOLO yourself into bankruptcy, but put down some things that are distractions in your life and enjoy yourself while these times are like they are or about to be and will be for some amount of time. Because the pendulum swings and it never stays this way forever. So you better enjoy it while you can, because hard times will follow. Stupid people will get reelected. We've got dumb people in this country that out of envy and spite will elect people that are ignorant and will get us in trouble. We just lived through that. So all these reforms, all these changes, putting us back on a peace and prosperous footing, I'll give it 8 to 10 years, possibly. And then we're back to where we started. You got to fight through that again one day. So enjoy, cut the hay while it's time to cut hay, and gather it for you and yours, and enjoy your life and try to find ways to be happy. The tense times and the insanity and the stupidity and the upside down world we've dealt with in the last 5 years is coming to an end, and rapidly, as we turn the corner into 2026. Y'all, Huey Town Pawn. Let's talk about Tommy and my guys over there. They had a remarkable holiday season themselves. They joined the show late in the year last year, and y'all been lighting them up. From time to time, Tommy will hit me. He hit me with so many deals at the end of 25, I couldn't even keep up with him. And that's a good thing. But sometimes we got to just focus. Let's just focus on the big picture. Here is a pawn shop, and most pawn shops in some ways will deal with guns. They're things of value. But over time, they got more and more into expanding their gun counter. They became gunsmiths. They got brand new product lines in the store. So this is much more than a pawn shop. Now, you get the advantage of some pre-owned things that have been bought in that you can get discounts on and all that. And there are some other things in the store other than the guns. But that whole back section, that whole corner to the left and all the way around the back is an incredible gun store with great selections, constant value on handguns, long guns, ARs. The federal tax stamp's gone on the sound suppression now, and that's a huge deal. That's $200 less you got to pay the government to have sound suppression on your hunting rig or whatever, your tactical rig or whatever you need it for. Y'all get to know them. It's good to be able to shop around. Maybe you got your favorite gun store, but you owe it to yourself to pop over to Huey Town Pawn, see what they got going. They can absolutely hook you up on sound suppression in particular because they got ahead of the market and just stocked up. Now you can't hardly find them. Same thing on some of their other products, but get to know them, and they're there for your buying, selling, trading, whatever you want to do. Over on Brook Lane Drive in Hueytown, it's Huey Town Pawn, Huey Town Pawn. All right, it's 423, Leland Live, talking to M5 Storm Restoration Roofing. Man, this is who you need, Greg Nelson. If you have an emergency or it's just time over time, roofs just don't last forever. They've got a lifespan. They age out, and if it's time, it's time. Some of you have leaks and ongoing problems. You need a real pro up there, somebody you can trust. Greg's been doing it. Man, he's in his third decade, almost to the end of 30 years of being on his roofs. His family grew up around that. He's got his sons involved with him. I met one of his daughters at our station event during Christmas. He's put her to work working with adjusters and handling claims. They're experts at all of that, not just the installation. The thing about roofs, if you don't put that product in correctly, the manufacturer will not honor those warranties. That's key in a lot of places. You get one of these fly by night operations, they don't put that roof in right and something goes wrong, you're not going to be covered. So get a real pro. And and that's Greg Nelson and his team at Storm Restoration. He works on a phone number, and I'm going to give you that in a minute. And here's my suggestion: stick it somewhere where you keep emergency contacts or phone numbers, because you could get storm damage. You could get some issues where you suddenly need a roof man, and you'll be able to reach Greg without having to try to find me, because you can't find me on the weekends. I turn all that stuff off. I'm done. I'm a ghost.
Yeah, I know. I tried. I'm like, we're leaving.
You trying to get me? Yeah. I have just de-emphasized. It's driving me crazy. I gotta knock it off sometimes. But
look, I even try to call Carmen Sandiego. I'm like, I still don't even know
I know where Carmen Sandiego is. I can't find Leland Live. No, truthfully, I love it when people reach out. They hear a sponsor, they didn't quite get the information. That's all right. Y'all keep doing that. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531. There's your phone number. Stick that somewhere. Let Greg come and help. Look, he's got a line on of finance companies that can help you if you have a big old giant deductible. You better look at that before you go file a claim. Some of you have massive deductibles on a roof replacement, and you didn't even – I know I didn't. I really, to be honest with you, I don't know what mine is either. I should go look at my policy. I could call my agent and say, what is my deductible? But usually you don't check that until it's time. Then by the time it's time, you got to come out of pocket, and that is frightening. Y'all reach out to Greg and let him help with that. Working with the adjusters and insurance companies, if you work with them, they'll honor your claim, but you got to document it. You got to do it correctly, and Greg will do that for you. 205, here's that number again, 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing. Man, we're getting through the content very quickly tonight. It has been a busy, busy time. Let me go back to Iran just for a minute. I'm always astounded when the people there try to rise up. Again, I went through a whole history last hour about me watching the Iran hostage situation unfold, and how that just affected me and my worldview forever about how we deal with our enemies. And we have fumbled with Iran through successive presidencies, and Trump took away their power. He cut those Kiwis completely off of them, and they're just not the bully state that they were, because they don't have that leverage card of the nuclear threat right now in diplomatic relations or otherwise. If the Trump administration ever gets the Abraham Accords completely agreed to by most of the region, Iran is suddenly isolated. The average age of the people that live in that country is under 35. They don't even remember living in freedom, but they've heard what their grandparents talked about. Just like Venezuela, there are Iranians that had to flee after the Shah was overthrown and the Ayatollahs took over, and they had to flee and have not been back since. But like other nations, they got a proud heritage. They got their own culture. The Persian culture dates back thousands of years, and they'd love to get back to being a free and prosperous nation. Just like Venezuela, Beirut. At one point, Beirut, Lebanon was called the Paris of the Middle East. And Iran was the same way. Tehran was a modern, educated city that was thriving until these idiot kids, like the Mondami followers in New York, full of naive notions about how the world works, put a dictator in charge, or a group of mullahs that are dictators over their country, and they've suffered for it since. Well, now they're rising up. The uprising's becoming more violent by the day. There was reporting by, I think it was the Times of London this weekend, that said that the Ayatollah actually has an evacuation plan to flee and try to take exile in Russia. Be fine with me. I don't care if they kill him or not. But that would mean there was upheaval and transformation in Tehran. The people in the streets are watching the world, just like our revolution led to other revolutions around the world, the French and others, to fight for their freedom and establish that. The world's going through that again, and the dominoes are falling in the right direction. When I grew up in the Cold War, we operated on something called the domino theory. You people with a little gray in your temples understand what that was, that if once the Soviet Union took over, one by one, countries would domino to their influence, and that was against our interest. It's reversed now. We are fighting for the interest of freedom without having to go to war, with strategic and shrewd military moves that neuter these pariah states. We've done it in Venezuela. We did it in Iran, and now the Iranian citizens are poised to get their country back. Now, I've been hopeful before, only to have my hopes dashed. This could turn ugly before it turns free. But as you're praying for freedom of people, oppressed people all over the world, put the Iranians on your list because there's a huge Christian church presence in that country as well, believe it or not. Back here in a minute, Leland Live. All right, till 4:33, Leland Live, talking to M5, All American Metals. Let's talk about buildings for a minute. I spent the whole morning in mine working on some studio stuff and getting all ready. We're about to unveil some new video products for you to be able to take in, and so trying to get those bugs worked out as we get the new year started. I'm just really thankful that I did that project when I did it. The timing of being able to use that space and have it for all the stuff I do, all my little hobbies and projects is really incredible. If you need a hobby barn, a pole barn, a residential barn dominium, those things are incredible the way people are building them out. Just they make very elegant homes, believe it or not. You can't beat the value and the speed of steel construction. It just goes up quickly. It's durable. It stands the test of time. And they've got the program down at All American Metals. They can build anything you want, all the way from that residential use to big commercial projects. They've been in the steel business since the 60s. It's two great patriotic families that got together, started putting up steel buildings, and over time they've just integrated and built their operation. to the point where it is really, really something to behold. I got a great tour of a lot of their factories, and here's the thing: they're fully integrated. And as you've heard the show for any length of time, you've heard this story from the design work, and that's key to get the design right. And you're going to need those plans for your approvals, for I guess zoning and all these things, permitting and all that. You might need them for financing if you're going to do that, but they'll produce that for you and have it thought through. And because they're in control of the production of every component in that building, it comes to you correct on the trucks, like a big box of Legos ready to go together. If something does go amiss, they're in control of the process. They can get you replacement parts of any of the things that are part of that building, the primary structure, secondary structure, everything that ties all that stuff together, insulation, doors, windows, all of that stuff available to you at All American Metals. They're right here in Birmingham, and here's the final part of my pitch about them. They are quicker than their competitors. They are less expensive than their competitors, and you've got a completely custom process that you have control over. This is the way to do it. This is the way to get one of these buildings built. Y'all, it is All American Metals, aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com. Well, I'm remiss because I did not give a thanks to April Marie for filling in between the holidays while I took some family time down. How'd it go, AJ? Did y'all have a pretty good week?
Oh, yeah, we had a good week. Thank you for April Marie for coming in and stepping up. And I learned a lot. And I meant to say this before because she's filled in for you before. She has grown in her music a little bit. You know?
Oh, yeah. Let's hear this story.
She used to cringe. Well, she will fake like she will cringe with some of the music I will play.
Yep.
Then I was like, all right, let me, since you are here, I'll play some of these 90s bro country songs for her because she
has different tastes. We all have different tastes.
Yeah. We need to put some seasoning on that thing.
But
so.
you gave her a little edgy, and
I did.
She was liking it.
Well, first she was acting like she didn't like it, and then the camera don't lie, and she was bobbing her head.
I got you. She was grooving. Got caught grooving.
Right, and then all of a sudden, I'm not. Whoa. She wasn't. I was like, wait a minute, you was just over here grooving and dancing to this thing. Like, what are you talking about? But no,
AJ, improving people's musical taste one unexpected song at a time.
Hey, that's what you got to do.
Look, we call them bumpers. People ask about the music all the time. For a year, ever since we started the show, almost 16. Was it? Dang, I forgot, AJ. Are we 16 years now?
Minus 3.
Good Lord, we're too old, man. This thing's outlasted a lot of things in my life. But from the beginning, music is part of what we do. We had a consultant early on go, you should get back to the content more quickly from the break. I was like, well, music is the content, dude. And it just gives us a smooth way to get in and out of the commercials. And all shows use them. But it has a function from a host perspective of pumping up the host. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, a good groove comes on, you get a little lift for a minute. It's like a little shot of caffeine. You keep going for the segment. It really does. The host needs to groove with the music. You can't have, like, sometimes we'll have guest hosts, no names, but it ain't my style, and it makes me feel like I'm in somebody else's house right now.
Right. They done moved in and started like rearranging the furniture and stuff. Like, hey, hold up.
I'm gonna bump my knees. Have you ever decided to put out any kind of song list for years? You wouldn't.
Yeah, I did it like twice last year, and I kind of got sidetracked on some other things, and so I was like, okay, I want to start doing that on a more frequent level, and honestly, it's pretty fun because people have thanked me for putting out the list, but I want to just be more creative. I don't want to just be like, oh, here's a list and just post out a list. Like, I want to, maybe show my face. I probably won't show my face because I don't want to scare nobody. But
well, we're all having to show our big old watermelon heads now because of the cameras.
Yeah, I got this thing like right here on me. But I do want to start like doing more with the list and all that stuff because I think it's fun. And I think
AJ used to just flat out say he wasn't going to share.
Yeah, I was like Colonel Sanders here. I said, nah, I was not going to put out the lyrics to the song.
The 11 herbs and spices, nobody's going to know that.
Nobody's going to know what I said. I said nobody's going to know what I play on the show.
I think the reason is I'm a believer when it comes to some of that stuff that familiarity kind of breeds contempt. And some of the songs that are available are just so burnt out. Classic rock killed all the classic rock.
Yeah.
Classic rock radio made me almost hate all those songs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're too familiar. They're just boring.
Yeah. I like going to those deep cuts.
And I hate bro country. And so from the get, AJ and I always had a diverse interest in different stuff. And I said, just play everything. Play new stuff people have never heard before. Catch people off guard. Make it funky. Make it weird. I don't care. Just do the unexpected. And I think the formula has worked. You find stuff, I find stuff. We get it in there. And you've surprised me today with 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
Actually, did you see me Shazamming?
I did.
If y'all don't know, there's an app. We're just killing some time right now. I can't preach for 4 straight hours today. I'm just now re-engaging my brain for the first time in several days. But there's an app called Shazam, and it's easy enough to find. And you can just, many of you have it, but you can just touch that app, and it'll listen to any song. I'll be in a restaurant, and I'll hear a groove, and I'll go, oh, radio show. And I'll be in there holding my phone up, trying to tag it, and it'll save it for you so you know who the artist was and what it was. And sometimes I'll do it just to guess because I think I know who it is.
Yeah.
And I'll be watching a movie or something, and I'll hear a good groove. But that I'll grab things through Shazam. And just a little while ago, AJ played something. It was Band of Heathens, and I thought I recognized who that was, and I had not heard that song, so I Shazammed it with my headphones.
Yeah.
I stuck the phone up, took my headphones off. You might have seen it on the camera. Shazammed, so that I can go back to listen to that song on the way home.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I pretty much do. It does take a lot of research and does take a lot of time. If something catches my ear, I could be grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll have a song that will play, and like I'm in the middle of the grocery store and people just looking at me, but I got my phone out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just, hey, listen to it because it catches my attention. I'm like, well, if it catches my attention, I know when I play it again, someone's it's gonna catch their attention too. But then it also lets people know, like, oh yeah, I heard that song on Leland. So it all kind of circulates and comes right back to us. So yeah, it does take some time. Like I'll take days of just sitting and listening to different music, and I'll listen to one artist, and then I'll say what artists are similar to that artist, and I'll go and, man, if I tell you like my Spotify, and I shared it, like I have like thousands.
I wonder if you could do you have a computer screen where you could just screenshot it? That'd be an easy way to put the list together.
I do.
Because people are always asking. They was like, what was that?
Yeah.
And I can't remember because if y'all send me a message through whatever social media or other contacts, you say, what was that song at 4:30? I swear to you, if it's 4:45, I do not remember.
I mean, if they reach out to me, I'll tell them. But yeah, just don't wait till like I've had people like say, yeah, there was a song you played about a month ago.
Yeah, at 6:30, I was on my way home.
I'm like, I don't know.
We'll go off the air at 6. What are you talking about? People do that all, and that's okay.
I mean, it's fine. I'm like, I don't want to make anything up, but yeah.
And that was the other half of that is, I know it doesn't suit everybody. That's just music, right? So every now and then you'll get a hater that doesn't like the style of the music or whatever, but it changes all the time. So I guess you just got to be sucking lemons and hating life if you don't like the music AJ throws down. But that's okay. I mean, you're the kind of person we're trying to keep from listening to the show. Some shows won't admit that, but occasionally we have so many listeners after all this years, we're trying to run some people off. So if you don't like it, you're too old.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like that. You ain't got to go home, but you get the hell out of here.
Out of here.
Yeah.
And see, like Andrew, he starts off, he likes to do that 90s hard headbanging, grunge stuff, whatever. And he was nervous. He came in here one day. I'll never forget this. And Andrew's like my little, I don't mean to say that. He's like a little brother to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I discovered him. I feel like I pulled him out of the wilderness and found him years ago. And he came in here and asked me about the music. He goes, people complaining about my music. I said, dude, you do you. If that's your personality, it should reflect in your show. You play all you want to play.
Yeah.
And people have come around to it. They like his vibe, man. That's him. Richard and Val in the morning, they got their vibe. It suits them.
Yeah.
And Steve. I mean, Steve likes that 90s country. And that stuff's classic.
Yeah.
Y'all mix it up. We don't want all our shows to sound the same.
No. Now, Andrew, I ain't going to lie. He be having some good stuff, but then there'll be like some off-the-wall stuff.
Every then it'll come back.
It'll be like some Asian hard rock country. I'm like, what is this?
He did surprise me a couple of times during Christmas. I'm just going to say,
dashing through the snow.
I'm like, well, wait a minute.
What
the hell was that? Puke Rock. I didn't know they did a Christmas album. You do you, Andrew McLean. Hey, now.
As my auntie would say, do you, boo-boo?
Yeah. Bobby's on a cell phone. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, what's happening, bud?
Yo, man.
I've got so first off, I've been listening now for about 2 years. I found y'all, and I think everything I drive has got y'all's channel on it.
Good.
So, I really enjoy listening to the morning show, in the afternoon. But I have to say, on the bumper music thing, you've got about the best one out there.
Well, thank you.
I like the way a lot of it is country blues stuff I'm hearing from people I've never heard before. And there's one in particular, I love it when you play it. And you let them run for a minute, too.
Which one is the one you like?
For about 2 seconds, and you shut them off.
Which one is the one you like? Do you remember it?
I don't remember.
That's okay.
It's you'll play it. You usually do every day. It's just old. It sounds like new age country with some blues in it.
All right, we like that mismatch. We like that mashing it up.
Yeah. Like I say, out of the 3 that I listen to, because I cut my radio on about 5 o'clock in the morning till I get out of my car when I get home. Y'all got the best bumper music.
Well, man, we appreciate that, Bobby. That's very kind of you, brother.
Well, the other question. I've been hearing talking about cameras and all that. Where can I pull it up and see y'all's bucketheads?
Well, here's what let me just give you the backstory on that. That's a good question. We're going to have to do an Access Anything segment, AJ, where y'all can just call in and about the show itself. We've had so many headlines now, but this is the first of the year we need to reset the rules. We have added, right now there's cameras here in the studio. We're sort of beta testing it. Would that be fair, AJ?
Yes.
So we put them up to work the bugs out, and we still got to work on lighting in here. I don't think it looks very pretty yet, but it's getting there. Because we had to work a lot of tech out to combine video without hurting the radio product. We were trying to keep what we do, our day job, consistent. So it's on YouTube. Yeah. Is that right, AJ? Do you know the channel?
Yes. Real Talk 99.5 TV.
Real Talk 995 TV. And what other platforms are y'all putting it up on right now?
Well, there's clips on Facebook. Obviously, just go follow us on Talk 99.5 on Facebook. I'm not sure if it's on Instagram just yet. I'm trying to figure out all the stuff that it's.
I got off Instagram. I guess I'm gonna have to get back on there.
Yeah, that's about the only one I try. YouTube. I do YouTube and Instagram. Facebook. I'm sick of hearing and talking about blue-haired people. And
well, it is, but that's
Hey.
It's all. There's so much of it. I've tried to pare it down, but in our business, you got to be available. So.
I'm glad if you click on one wrong thing, that's all you got.
Well, I know, and it's those algorithms drive me crazy, and I don't get any value out of it. But, Bobby, I appreciate the calls tonight, and just to continue, keep it on the road, man. Call us back sometime. It's good stuff. What are we looking at on the clock? So we're going to have a video component of the live shows, and we tried to debut it today, but we're still working on some technical issues. I built out a separate studio of my own to really showcase the personality of our show a little bit differently. And AJ, it's sexy, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's really just my personal man space at home, but I've tricked it out so that I could broadcast from that studio like most of the hosts around the country are doing nowadays. But I think it looks pretty good. It's coming together.
It looks good. I mean, you put a lot of work and effort into it.
We just got to get the linkage between this studio and that studio and make sure it's all synced up. And we'll have that any day now. We'll be live from the barn. And I'm going to enjoy that because it gives me more time in the day. Gives me the ability to get guests in and actually have you see the conversations. I think the other thing it'll do down the road is I like to take the show on the road a lot and get out there and take you guys with me places. And it'll give you a chance to see some of the people we're interviewing and talking to while we're out there around the country. And so there's a whole nother setup for that. Try to make it portable, and we're trying to learn all this stuff. I know you got 12-year-olds that have their own podcast with 30 million followers that already know how to do it. But we're on the Titanic right now, so we're trying to. It's an ever-changing space out there, and we're doing our best to keep up. But you'll hear more and more promotion about it as we get confidence in the product. Like right now, it's up, you can see it. But AJ, I don't know what's compelling about my big old fat head and a logo over my shoulder. But we're going to try to find ways to make it, more watchable, I guess, because we got to get get it down. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Right.
You know, the hard part of that is we're in these studios from 6A to 7P. There's somebody on the air here, and it's hard for us to all have a 2 or 3 hours in the day when we're not either prepping for the show or doing the show to work on these things.
Mm-hmm.
We're never all in the building at the same time.
Right.
But it's coming along, and I hope you'll find it exciting.
Yeah, slowly but surely it's coming along.
And I'm going to have to start dressing better because I can't dress like a slob like I was. They're like, people looking now. What are we?
Now, that means you're going to bring back the suit because when we first started
Yeah,
the show.
I'm going to come back in. I already cut my hair off.
Yeah.
But I hated it, so I may not have. I don't even care. I'm just going to do what I do. But you won't see me up in here with my old. Sometimes I'm out like cutting grass right before the show, and I'll just do the show in my grass cutting clothes. If I'm at home.
Yeah.
I'm out there cutting down trees or whatever. I've had shows where I'm working a bonfire, and during the break I'd run out and work on the fire with the tractor and come back to the show. That's the convenience of having it at home, and you ought to see how I'm dressed on those days. Y'all would call the cops if I walked in. We got to snap it up. We got to step it up. Blakeley's Bouquets. Let's talk about flowers. Here comes, flower season. With all the holidays and anniversaries in a new year, Valentine's around the corner, Blakeley's ought to be your go-to florist. You know, everybody, you got to do the flowers at Valentine's, but the unexpected flowers throughout the year, if you got somebody you love, and, you know, there are reasons to give flowers because you want to love on somebody, but tell them you love them. But at the same time, you got people that are just down. They're just dragging. I was listening to our preacher the other day talk about the month of January is considered one of the most stressful months. There's so much stress of a new year. Sometimes people just, I don't know. It's just, you may know somebody that's dealing with some things, and a note from you with some nice flowers, maybe just that thing to know that there's somebody else out there pulling for them. So let Blakeley's be your go-to. They've got the easiest, most intuitive ordering system I've ever used. I mean, even a flower dummy like me can go in there and find a pretty picture and click on it and put my message in and send those flowers. You can pay them right there online. If you get them in the morning, generally they'll get those flowers out that morning. Maybe they're by lunchtime at work or wherever your recipient is. It's just nice to do that. Nice to have a go-to. You don't have to do a whole lot of thinking. Just pull the trigger and love on somebody with some beautiful flowers this year, whether for special occasions, graduation before you know it. Lots of flowers during 2026. Make Blakeley's your flower place. And if you want to go by and work with them in person, they'd love to see you. They got a cute little shop over in Edgewood and Homewood. Welcome you anytime. But to me, it's just as easy to use that website. Let me spell it for you. It's two names, Blake and Lee. BlakeLeesBouquets.com. BlakeLeesBouquets.com. All right, 456, Leland Live talking to NM5. I was just pulling up the commodities markets today. The stock market went on a tear. Sometimes there's a trade-off. You'll still see gold dip as money moves back toward the equities markets, but gold is still doing its thing. It's at 44.51 up today again, going toward 5,000, which is insane. I mean, just that you'd have gold at those rates. Here's the point. If you'd invested in some gold and some of your assets ought to be in precious metals, good for emergencies, good against inflation. More reasons than I can even come up with. Steve over at Alabama Gold Refinery can describe to you in detail, and he is happy to do so. He really does have, I think the word passion is kind of an overused word nowadays, but he does. He loves what he does, and he knows everything about it. So if you want to trade, whether you want to take some gold over there and convert to cash because you got a need right now, and boy, you've got maximum value right now with these record-setting prices, and maybe pay off some of that holiday debt or whatever. If you've got scrap and you want to turn that into cash, they'll do it in a fair way, in a secure way. It's a very secure facility over there in Homewood. Oppositely, if you've got cash and you want to park it in some commodities and secure that, maybe you got a good place to put it and keep it locked away, and it's your business and not mine or Uncle Sam's or anybody else's. Y'all reach out to Steve and let him do that with you. He'll trade you metals for metal too. Some people have scrap, but they want to keep gold and they just want some gold coins or whatever. They'll do that. Silver, platinum, all the metals. It's AGR, Alabama Gold Refinery, AGR, Alabama Gold Refinery.com. They're in Homewood. Let me give you some locators. Near the Big Tall Regions Bank Building. They're on 29th. Easy to find. Park right out front. Again, all the security you would need to go in and out and make those exchanges. And it's like you've got your own exchange to buy, sell, trade, any of that stuff. Get to know Steve in the new year as you start planning your financials. I know we talked about it earlier. We're all planning and trying to do better this year with our finances and our health and everything. Put Alabama Gold Refinery on your list. Even if you just want to go by there and check out the shop. I think it's a fascinating shop with the things they have in the display cases that people have brought in over the last months and years. AlabamaGoldRefinery.com. Man, the weather's going to jiu-jitsu us over the next several days. This week, we could be in the 70s. Good chances of rain this weekend. And I think I was just reading a little while ago, I'm not sure the start date, but we got another cold flip coming back. I guess normal or even normal temperatures coming up in just a few days. So we're getting whipsawed. Little planning on that as we get into the doldrums of January. Leland Live talking NM5. Let's go to the 1819 news. We'll come back and do some more at 5 o'clock. Stay tuned.